The big April update for Valhalla is out now with brand new skills, a new settlement building, already teasing the upcoming Druids DLC. We got some big fixes for the fishes, so yes, we can get the swordfish right now. New camera options, weapon changes, and way more. So really everything you need to know about the update in this video. A like would of course really help me out. And let's go. This is, by the way, the final time to enter my current weekly Helix credit pack giveaway number 20. I'll be announcing the winner in the next video, but we'll already start a brand new one. So either way, if you want to participate for 2,300 credits, you can do so via the link in the pinned comment. And these giveaways are only for subscribers of the channel, so good luck. We'll, by the way, be going over the weekly selection and other Valhalla news in a big video on April 29th. And now in this video, I want to focus on everything Ubisoft said they added with this update. Although there are some reports of not everything working properly. The most interesting addition is the increase of the power level cap to 427. Because next to the 3 skills, we also got 5 nodes per color, further increasing our stats. So you have to unlock most of these nodes first before you reach the new skills. So you can do some of the content that you still haven't finished, or buy a scroll of knowledge each time the shop resets for a skill point, and this will of course show up after reaching settlement level 6. Although I think it's smarter to just wait for the Druids DLC, which will add a ton of new main quests and likely a ton of other ways to earn XP, so I personally would not go and grind everything out already, because you will likely get a ton of XP by just playing through the Druids DLC anyways, and you won't really need those mastery points. So I would just wait, but you can still already unlock the new skills by resetting others. So that is what I did. I just looked for ability damage, stealth damage, and assassination damage nodes, because these stats are not impactful at all. So you can just easily reset them and get a skill point back, which you can then spend on the new nodes. Of course, make sure that you do not automatically reset other nodes. Like here, I will be keeping this ability damage node, so I also am able to unlock the ones after that. But yeah, overall, there should be enough nodes to reset, so you can unlock all the new skills. Like in the new Raven section, you will only need to spend 4 points for the new skill. In the wolf section, only 5, and you do have to get all of them in the bear section. So you only need to spend 15 skill points for all the new skills. The extra spear damage in the wolf section as the final node though is still really nice to get, like way better than the ability damage node from the main game skills. And overall, these skills are great passive bonuses. With Intense Rage, you are not interrupted when doing your offhand parry or left-hand attack. So nice when you strike at the same time as the enemy, so your attack won't be interrupted. But also when fighting multiple enemies, they cannot take you out of your attack, which will be super helpful. As I told you before, I really like the left-hand attack of the spear, throwing an enemy against an object or each other. So now you will not be interrupted when performing this. Just like for the amazing left hand jump and stab from the daggers. And with the hammers you of course hit the enemies when they are on the ground. That will also not be interrupted. But another one of my favorite left hand attacks, the one for the flail, doesn't seem to work with this skill. With this you of course spin the flail around until your stamina bar is empty. But I still get interrupted when charging this up, or when like swinging my flail around already. So maybe I'm doing something wrong, but overall it doesn't seem to work, which is kind of strange. The Eye of the North skill is great for if you prefer to use a bow. It lets you hold your aim even when taking damage. It seems to be a short window after your first hit, because here I got hit 2 times after each other without losing aim. And also incoming arrows will not interrupt you, which is nice. And this also now works when aiming with abilities like the Mark of Death. On all these new skills is a cooldown though, so after the first trigger you'll have to wait a bit before the skill is active again. You only have no idea when it works again. So it would be nice to have like a perk show up, or some sort of visual cue, so you at least know when you will not be interrupted again. Right now, that's sadly not in the game. And this also applies for the Cold Rage, the third and final new skill. This lets you continue your regular melee combos without being interrupted, so you can make sure you hit the finisher more often. And of course, sometimes this also triggers a special buff or effect, and we touched on this briefly in my previous video regarding the Forder's Bite that you get for killing all the alpha animals. And the spinning that flail, which you can of course find over here on the map. They are now nerfed or actually fixed, because before the update the poison cloud or firebomb would appear way more often than the mentioned 40% on the item card would suggest. So Ubisoft now fixed it, meaning that the firebombs and poison clouds will appear way less often on a heavy finisher hit, so the weapons are way less powerful after the update. In the patch notes they also said that they extended the duration of the battle cry ability. It was 20 seconds before the update and now it's still 20 seconds. So I'm not sure what they changed, but the duration seems to be the same. And you can of course get this ability during the river raids. A new thing that you maybe already noticed is the Irish Outpost in the settlement. You can already see it with Soon In. It's in the, let's call it, post-launch area of our settlement, where all the new buildings are showing up. And there's a board there already, which you can interact with. And this takes you to the store to get the expansion when it's out on May 13th. So you'll likely have to go to this building to access the new area of the Wrath of the Druids DLC. I'm curious if, like, after going there once, we can also just use the Atlas. Would be way nicer. Either way, really hyped, of course, for this DLC. And I will talk about some new info in a future video, so stay tuned for that. Now let's go back to update fixes, because we can now rock the Altair and Bayek outfit over any other chest piece in the game by visiting a blacksmith. And maybe you already noticed that if you hover over them now in the inventory menu, you will actually see that these items turned mythical instead of bronze. So we can now also add multiple runes on it if you decide to equip them. Although overall it's of course way smarter to use the transmog system for this, to keep the set bonuses from your other gear. Maybe you already noticed some zoomed out finishers in the video, and that's another new feature Ubisoft added to the gameplay options. And then under combat you can now switch off the finisher camera, so that these finishers will always be zoomed out. It doesn't work all the time though, like here we had the camera off, but it was still zoomed in for this finisher. So sometimes you still get the zoomed in one, but most of the times you stay zoomed out. One of the big things this update does is of course fix the fish issue. I already went over the blog post from Ubisoft in a previous video, but we now tried to get these missing fish as well. The big mackerel was of course a huge one. You can now get it over here on the map in Horjafylke, so in Norway, close to the docks. Throw out the fishing line and then you should be able to find it. So we actually got it first try. You can now find the halibut small over here on the map in Granta Bridge. There are many fish here, but if you wait for a bit, keep an eye on the notifications, then you will see that you get this fish too. And both the sturgeon and flatfish should be over here near Winchester, but we did have a hard time finding the small sturgeon. You can of course use the photo modes to look for the specific fish you want, but we had no luck, although we did find the flatfish. So yeah, Ubisoft says that the sturgeon should be here too. Let me know if you found them over here on the map. And of course later on with the June update, these fishes should appear in more rivers. Right now, these are the only locations you can find them. But yeah, this does mean that you can finally get the Swordfish Weapon. And a ton of you actually reached out with images of getting this amazing two-handed sword, like Zayden and Andre. So what you of course have to do is complete all the deliveries at the fishing hut. So we see footage here from Carlos, who was able to complete it too. So yes, it is obtainable now. Still, of course, a pretty big grind finding all the necessary fish. But yeah, you can now at least complete it. And the same can be said about the Brewing Storm main mission. That should now be fixed as well. I did not have this issue myself, but I looked around and on Reddit, Fast on My Feet is reporting that it has been fixed. And I see some people on Twitter discussing it too. Although I also found posts of people saying that it's still not fixed. So if you were stuck there, totally check it out and let me know in the comments down below as well. And also if you found secret changes, we already found a ton of them and I will be highlighting them in a new video very soon. If you got some interesting things that I did not talk about here in this video, totally let me know via the input@joraptor.com email address or in the comments under this video. I will of course shout you out. if I use your finds. Also, a quick reminder that the community challenge has been completed. So if you have assassinated one person, and you likely already did that, right? Then you can now claim the 10 opal. You have to be fast. You got like one more day to do it. And then tomorrow I'll be going over the weekly selection, talk about the new connect challenges. And yeah, they finally fixed the dummy part of it. So I will share tips on how to easily complete these challenges. More on that very, very soon. Subscribe, of course, for way more Valhalla content. A like on the video would really help me out. So to check out my previous video on Ubisoft sharing that more river raids are coming. You can watch that one by clicking on the screen. Or at the end of our photo mod showcase that we, of course, like to do here at the end of every Valhalla video. You can send in your shots to the JorRaptor hashtag on Twitter. Or find a dedicated pictures channel on the Discord. You can join the Discord also via the link in the pinned comment. Once you are there, accept the rules and then you are able to post. Okay, Joyce, photo mod expert here on the channel. You, of course, as always, selected 3 shots from the community. So which one did you pick this time?
Hello. First up is Jordan the Joker over on Discord. Yeah, I'm not making this one up, Jor, but who took this stunning shot of Eivor doing the leap of faith while the northern light is in the background. It's almost as if Eivor is like a fallen angel from the sky looking at how the lights are pointed like next to him.
Yeah, and I think it's very well centered as well. Really, really cool.
Next up is Victor over on Twitter, who perfectly timed this shot of an enemy ready to strike his arrow, but lost his head in the process before he could even launch it. Looks like Eivor was faster in killing him off.
I want to know if he was still able to shoot the arrow though, because it seems perfectly lined up, which is also kind of strange without a head, but...
And finally, we've got Koala Assassin, I hope I pronounced this right, over on Discord, where Eivor is taking a casual stroll through a forest in England while the sun rays give this silhouette around him. Look, I have a weak spot for these kind of shots, so I'm actually really happy if people send this. So, especially when the ray like fall through the trees like this, gives this magical vibe. But, well, it's a pretty shot.
Yeah, and I'm happy that a lot of people got the Draugr mount and are now using it in the shot as well. Really, really cool. Of course, share your shots, then maybe you'll be in the next video. Subscribe for way more Valhalla content and check out our previous video by clicking on the screen. For now, we will speak to you next time, and goodbye.
Goodbye.